Second.
9 o'clock, and we'll go ahead and get started on the fiscal court regular scheduled meeting today, October 12th. And we'll start out with an invocation by Magistrate Tom Ellis.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
May we bow in prayer? Heavenly Father, please guide us today that we'll represent our people well. Please lift the scourge of COVID in all forms. Please protect our troops here and abroad. Let us be an example to the youth in our community, and especially a resource to our senior citizens. Today, as our Attorney General appears in Washington, D.C. before the U.S. Supreme Court, guide his words for the protection of the unborn. Please be with us throughout today's fiscal court meeting. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And next we have to review our minutes. And they're in your binder. And entertain a motion to approve. And then we'll go over any corrections necessary.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Magistrate Sammons. Seconded
Second.
by Magistrate Gay. Changes, comments, deletions.
One word correction, first page, Brian Wolford Jailer, about 8 lines down. Magistrate Tom Ellis rescinded.
Not
Rescinded.
resented.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
gotcha.
Thank you.
We should be resent.
Noted correction. Anything else? All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries. Thank you. We'll sign the corrected version later. Next, we need to approve some bills, and Miss Jackie's got that for us.
Okay, the standing order total is $47,785.92, and the bills to be paid is $1,272,307.05.
You have those in your binder.
Move we pay the bills as presented.
Second it?
We have a motion to approve the bills as presented by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Short. Comments or discussion? All those in favor of approving the bills signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for that. Next, I believe, we'll make budget transfers.
Yes. Okay, we have 3 budget transfers. The first one is for $55,305.64 for the final Trails Grant bill. The second one is $1,200 moving in the sheriff's department, moving $1,200 from the new equipment to the youth educational material. And the third one is $28,500 from the general to the joint jail account to pay for the jailer's new truck.
Other way. Is it from general to joint jail or,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, because it was taken out of the.
Right.
lump sum.
it was, okay, yep. Any questions on any of those budget transfers? Motion?
I move we approve the budget transfers as presented.
We have a motion to approve the budget transfers as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate Short. The motion was made by Magistrate Gay. Comments, discussions, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries unanimously. All right, now it's my turn. Before you, I believe, and let me check my binder here. Yep, there it is.
Do we have any cash transfers?
There's no cash transfer.
Excuse me,
Sorry.
I knew that, so I was moving on. I apologize. There are no cash transfers. okay? We talked about that earlier, and I just had it in my mind. Sorry about that, sports fans. We have before us a letter from the Department of Local Government for Sheriff Robbins. This is his incentive pay for his training and that he has done, that we all participate in. He has different training requirements, and you have that before you, and I would recommend approval.
So moved.
And is there? Let's do it by motion. I need to entertain a motion to approve the DLG incentive pay for training.
So moved.
Okay. And motion made by Magistrate Ellis, seconded by Magistrate Kaywood. Any questions?
Did we learn that he has a first name?
Yes. Apparently, the state believes he only has his first or middle name. I'm not sure which it is. But we'll just call him Sheriff Robbins for the YouTube channel. All right, all those in favor of approving the incentive pay for training for Sheriff Robbins, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for that. Okay. Update on the treasurer's application process. Personnel committee has met. They're in the room. We vetted several applicants and applications and went through them, and it was a pleasant surprise that the personnel committee unanimously agreed on the top 3 applicants to move forward to an interview process, which are all scheduled on the 18th of this month. Today is the 12th, so 6 more days we'll interview for treasurer. And that's where it stands. You've all seen the job description on the treasurer, and so we have 3 applicants. I think we had a total of 18.
You had 8.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, y'all may have, what you all gave us was 8.
Okay.
And then we narrowed it to 3.
Does anybody on the committee want to say anything
I
about the process?
have a committee report on that meeting at the end of the
Okay.
full committee, so.
All righty.
Do we know when on the 18th, by any chance yet?
Yeah.
They start at 9 a.m., 9, 10, and
9,
11.
10, 11, okay, thank you.
Is that personnel or all of us? It's all of us, ain't
It really should, well, now the interviews, we're gonna, out of the 3, I was thinking that we tossed in the personnel committee, because it has to be approved by the court, because it works for the court, the treasurer does, is that the personnel committee, myself and Julie, so it doesn't look like an inquisition of the 3 applicants, that the 4 of us would do the interviews and recommend one to the court and present that recommendation to the court.
That was a procedure we pretty much.
Well, we're
decided.
still,
And you had a conflict, you don't know whether, you just wanna stay out, you need to stay out of the whole process probably, don't you?
It depends if they.
See, I don't know.
It depends if they make the final 3.
That's,
If they
Yeah,
don't, then
that's
there's no
true.
reason why I can't.
yeah, it's up to you, I don't know who yours is, so you might,
Well, Julie knows, so
okay, we'll go.
we'll go from there.
You talk to your gentleman on your left there, because he was kind enough to take your place.
I'm good
He did a
either way.
good job, he did a good job too.
Good either way.
Judge.
In your stead, But is everybody okay with that process, that 4 people interview the 3 applicants and make a recommendation to the entire court for consideration?
Judge,
Yes.
I've been there before on these sorts of things, and experience and credentials, hopefully there's some parity among the finalists. And then a factor that can come in this community is, I guess it's my bias being here 20 years now, that if all that is at parity, a knowledge of this community, rather than being from the east or west coast or somewhere in between, to me, should be a consideration in that final determination. But experience and credentials are utmost importance.
Okay. So that's where we are, and we'll have a report from the Personnel Committee later on. But that's where we are on that, so the 18th will be the interview dates, and that's short, I guess we can talk to you a little bit later off, you know, about, because I think it would be inappropriate to give any indication of who the final three might be at this point.
That's fine.
Okay? ARPA committee updates.
You rip.
You know, the second court session of the month is for committee updates, but the ARPA committee, met, and that was John and Magistrate Kaywood and Magistrate Cullen and myself and Julie and Jackie, and, we, had a long and I think, a long and good discussion with a representative from the Parksville Water District. And we also discussed very briefly the move forward with the KIA, Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, funding to the county to approve the project with Lake Village, on Gwen Island Road. So, we just had some general discussion on some other things, and yet we'll have more discussions on projects that are around the county to include broadband in the future, but that was our first one. And, does anybody have anything they want to say about that? Jason or John?
No, I thought it was a good,
It was a good start.
good start, good discussion, actually.
Judge, I sent you an email about a phone call you might get at.
Yeah,
You
got
wanna
it.
make sure- Yeah,
Got it. It's already been taken care of.
thank you.
Okay, anybody, anything else on ARPA that, just to let you know that the committee is engaged in evaluating the application processes regarding the one, project in Payroll. Our, financial and legal advisors we're gonna reach out to them for the process to get initiated, as soon as possible. And that's Compass and Sykes and Harbison. So, I would like to put before you a reappointment of Mr. Preston Miles to the Board of Adjustments. I had a visit with him in my office. We had, a discussion about, his 4 years, completed 4-year tour on the Board of Adjustments and his desire to continue. And, we had a good visit, and, so I would like to put his.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the motion to approve the reappointment of Preston Miles made by Magistrate Kaywood and seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries unanimously. And now it's time for us to, let's see, is it in here somewhere? Let's see.
Yes, I got it.
You got it? Okay. We, recently, in participation with our KACO, partner on insurance, there is a dividend check that KACO has issued to us, in regard to the Workman's Comp Fund that we have, so admirably, and effectively participated in over the years. And because of our safety and our statistics and analytics regarding workman's comp, we have received a dividend check, as it's referred to, and I'll let Magistrate.
You're still on my thunder.
Okay. I'm gonna Magistrate Shannon take it from here.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like for you to come around. Let's get a picture if you don't mind.
Why don't we get
Like
you
for-
right there by the flag?
By the flag.
Our
Yeah.
attorney would move.
Yeah,
Thank
it'd be
you.
good by the flag.
This is the workers' comp, and the job that they've done, and throughout the state, they've received a dividend of a little over $2 million. So our portion is $15,599.29.
15,000.
15,000, what did I say, 15
No,
million?
yeah.
15,000.
I like
so
15 million better.
I'm pleased to present this to you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. And,
Thank you. This is a great benefit
you know,
by
we
being
had
a
8,000
KACO member.
just a few days ago, and we hope that we get some more coming down the road.
Yes, sir.
I hope me being president will benefit the county, is what I look forward to.
I hope so too. And, we're excited about you, ascending into that position with KACO. Thank
We
you.
look forward to your board meeting in Boyle County.
I have one question. When did we rebid workers' comp?
You don't. You don't get a chance. Need to rebid the health insurance.
All right, believe now, we have Duane on deck. He's there, he's waiting to come in, so.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hero.
Ready to swing the bat. I'm not this, I'm not real sure, I know on the agenda it says a computer.
Rita's?
We have made the purchase, we purchased a new computer for Rita. Of course, she uses that for both us, the road department, EMS, and solid waste. So that purchase has been made, it came out under $2,500, so we're good there. So that's all done and in good shape.
Okay.
The other item I need to mention to you, and I see it is in this bundle, Otis. We received an invoice from Otis, and we have received a price increase, which is allowed and spoken about in their contract. They have a mechanical, the mechanics, I guess their union or what have you. Anyway, their costs have gone up, so our invoice cost for this next year, our maintenance agreement is $2,417.76. And I think you do have that in front of you in your packet, so that's just to inform you again.
What was it last year? Do you
It was
recall?
$2,045, so it went up almost $400.
Have they been down to service at all in the last
Yeah,
year?
they come twice a year.
Come twice a year, or we call them or not.
Right. That's part of the service agreement. Now, there's also fixed hourly numbers in there, so if we have to call for repairs, those dollar figures or those hourly figures are set, so. Okay? That's the only two things I have.
Well, let's take it one at a time, and I believe, I don't know, have we already, as a court, approved the laptop? If we haven't, we need to do that, but, okay, just,
It was budgeted.
it was budgeted.
It
and
was under
It was
25.
below, it was by administrative code below the $3,000 mark.
Yeah, we just now got the invoice.
We really don't have to approve it.
I'll go ahead and approve it, how about that?
So you wanna do that?
We'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
got
right, but the second one, we do need to approve the
Probably
contract
the
with
increase,
Otis.
yeah, because the original agreement was for the $2,045, and, but in the contract, there is a paragraph.
And that elevator is, it
Send
does
Rita
have
your
some
way if she
little
has to
quirks
work with
about
it.
it that we definitely need to.
We have to keep AOC happy
Yes.
upstairs,
Yes.
so.
Or either start a new physical fitness program where they take the steps all the time.
Get their steps in.
You take that up with them.
All right,
Okay. So
entertain a motion, yes, sir.
do we have to vote on the first one since we technically
Made a motion.
made a motion for it?
Did you technically make a motion when you said what you said?
Or I did.
And I
Okay,
second
so,
it.
all right, there's a motion to approve the laptop for Rita, made by Magistrate Cohen, seconded by Magistrate Short. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. I didn't realize that was in the phrase of a motion.
This was a CYA.
Even though by our administrative code, it's not necessarily
Do we?
required, that's okay.
Well, we need a motion.
I move we approve the Otis service contract increase.
Okay,
I'll
we have a
second it.
motion to approve the Otis, service contract by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Cullen.
No, short.
Short, excuse me, okay. See, I still got, I know,
That's why they try to separate us.
yeah.
So the Otis, is that a budgeted line item?
Yes.
And are we in budget for that increase or what?
It's just in our, it's
in
part of
our-
our
it's in the
building
contract.
Maintenance, okay.
line item.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
It was in our original contract,
Yeah.
increase.
but the specific amount wasn't there. That's why we need to just inform you, and
What's that?
you're voting to accept it. It's actually a 6-year contract that we signed last time. So, but again, in that contract, there's an allowance for increases each year.
Well, that's a good contract
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Oh, they got us.
Yeah, because we can't do without it.
You could, but
Could build a big ramp.
It would be non-ADA compliant.
you could build a fire pole.
Go outside and build a big, back and
Big
forth
ramp, back and forth,
backside.
I like it.
All right, we have a motion to approve the
Like a big old
the
Donkey Kong
contract, and I believe it was made by Magistrate, second by Magistrate, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and any more discussion on the Otis contract?
Nope.
Speaking for all of us.
I'm just trying to get in before Phil does.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries unanimously.
I'm sorry, President-elect Sammons.
Judge, point of privilege, I'd just like to compliment our Public Works Director for the condition around the county. If everybody's getting the service that we're getting out in my district, things are really sprucing up right now. And it was
We're not because you won't stop
particularly
calling them. I said, we're not because you won't stop calling them.
I want to serve my constituents, but Forkland and
We take all calls.
Perryville are certainly appreciative. And what's the status of the long arm?
It's long.
The new giant.
Working excellent. We have it back in the shop today. They're making their,
We have the new one?
the new one's here.
We
You didn't see it?
We even had
Saw
it.
it. We had it
Oh,
outside.
he wasn't here that day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We had it brought up to the court for everybody to
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
We got to drive it around.
see. He was doing septic work that day.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I don't even want to talk about that.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry, yeah, we've been operating for a month.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
we brought it back in, they're coming down, they come down to do a service on it.
Missed for my church once, missed for my septic system another time.
See what happens when you don't show?
That's why everything's looking nice.
I know. Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think that's everything, Duane. You
All right.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dwayne.
it. See Mike in if you would.
Mr. Rogers is standing right here.
All right. Mr. Rogers.
Lovely day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I was
You
gonna
got
go.
your sweater on.
Okay.
I don't have a
Where's
sweater,
your
I'm
sweater,
sorry.
Mike?
Getting ready for Santa Claus?
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning.
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 First thing we have on the agenda today is just approval of the advanced EMT job description. We reviewed this with the Personnel Committee. The Kentucky Board of EMS has recognized the advanced EMT for maybe the last 3 or 4 years. This is the first time we've ever had 2 employees that are advanced EMTs. There's EMT, advanced EMT, and then paramedics, so they're kind of a mid-level provider. So I took the job description of the EMT, and the only thing I changed was the scope of practice part. There's just a few words differently that is in the job description, so it's the same. Right now, as far as pay, we're going to leave it the same, and we're going to revisit it budget season, so we don't mess up anything with our planned budget. So if you have any questions,
It was, the part that you changed as a point of reference was the victim extrication from entrapment. Is that
yeah,
correct?
that next line, yeah, with the scope of practice of advanced EMT per KRS, whatever.
Yeah, 202 KAR
Yep.
7:701. That's the part that changes
Yeah.
the definition of what advanced is.
And what was discussed in the committee meeting was the fact that this is just updating the job description to allow those that have this credential to practice within their scope. And right now, there's no money attached to this. It's, that will be addressed in the budget process of this next year.
It was recommended
Yes.
for approval.
Mike, we had a prior discussion about a situation several meetings back. Is there any consideration, or should there be, of mention of background check in the second page?
I mean, we do them automatically anyway. I'll leave it to your own discretion on that. when they get hired, and then every year, we do background checks, so,
Drug test them at that time.
yeah.
When you said, when they get hired, are you doing the criminal background check before?
That's
you
really
offer
what
it?
I'm mentioning,
Well-
based on that previous conversation.
We
Yes.
are now.
Didn't used to, but we
We
are
didn't
now.
used to, and the reason why is because the county handbook says post-offer pre-employment. So, to me, that was the way,
Yeah, look.
with the way we were doing it, was the way we always had been, and apparently that was wrong, so now we're doing it like we talked about.
That
So,
was a problem there, didn't we?
yeah, well, it wasn't a big problem, but it was just a little, it was just
big
something we
problem.
needed to work out to get clarification on it. So now, what the judge and I are doing is when we come, when I come to Shannon and say we need to hire this person, I'll give him the application, the background check, I'll check their credentialing, he can look at everything else, and then if it comes to you, all that's been approved.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
All right. Motion to approve the job description change on the advanced emergency EMT has been made by Magistrate Cullen,
Second.
seconded by Magistrate Gay. Comments, discussion? All those in favor of the job description change signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. We added this to the agenda yesterday because I wanted to talk about the incident that happened over the weekend at Landmark. We had a significant incident that we were very lucky that we had the people that were there to respond. Michael Mattingly was the supervisor on scene that day, and I'm going to let him tell the story because he was actually there, so you can just hear it from him.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Lieutenant Paramedic Michael Mattingly, B shift supervisor. I was the first on scene. We got toned out for a structure fire at Landmark Nursing Home, which is a rather large nursing home. And originally, I was responding with an EC unit myself. I told our other two EC units to respond, non-licensed sirens with me, just because of how big this was going to turn into if it was an actual structure fire. I was the first on scene. When I did get there, I did see smoke showing. Everything that I was seeing, I was communicating with the Danville Fire Department as they were en route with us too. I did get told as soon as I got there that the wing that the fire was actually in did not house any residents at all, so we're thankful for that. But at this point in time, they didn't know what was on fire. They didn't know where the fire was or where the fire was moving. So I made entry through the front with my first EC unit. We went to the hall that is directly connected to the fire hall. We had a large number of residents stuck in a hallway. You got to think these residents are bedbound and double assist, so they're not getting out of there without our assistance. And I do want to thank the nurses and the techs at Landmark for assisting us there. But we had a large number of people in the connecting hall that were bedbound. Currently, at this point in time, the ceiling was probably at my waist. Visibility was none, just heavy, thick black smoke. And we found just in probably the first 4 or 5 doors next to the fire hall, we found 6 residents. So we were able to get them out. At this point in time, my additional EC units were coming in as well. I did place an all-call with Boyle County EMS, which went out with our e-dispatch that we just instituted. I called mutual aid for Garrett County and Leakey County, who both sent us an ambulance as well. So we were able to get that hall completely evacuated. At that point in time, I had everybody on scene that I needed. We were able to get the second hall evacuated. We were able to get 60 plus residents, plus employees and administrative out in 20 to 25 minutes. So,
That's remarkable.
so we were able to get everybody out. At the final total numbers, we had probably, I think it was 6 mixture of residents and Landmark staff that was transported. We did have 2 of our own that were transported, but they were eventually cleared to discharge, no restrictions, no medications. So other than that, we were able to get everybody out in the parking lot. The Danville Fire Department done their thing. They were able to contain and control the fire. They ventilated, done some air testing. Mike Wilder was able to come down with us. We got everything taken care of. The Danville Fire Department advised that there wasn't any structural damage. We could begin to move people back in. So we were able to place 58 residents back in their beds. They continued operations like normal. The incident lasted probably, I called EMS Command at 9:05. I terminated EMS Command at 12:13. So we had a 3-hour incident where we had 60 plus medically fragile people sitting in a parking lot that we were in charge of. So I couldn't be here today. I want to go through a list here. Paramedic Mike Rogers, Mo Shalash, James Crawford, Sarah Bugg, Devin Mukes, John Wesley, Dewey Cummins, EMT Jeff Russell, Misty Day, Troy Gammon, Lindsey McGurr, Kristen Courtright, Estrella Godby, James Zanoli, mutual aid from Lincoln County EMS, Gary County EMS, Danville Fire Department was on scene, Bull County Fire Department was on scene, and Danville Police Department was on scene. I was the commanding officer, but I couldn't have got done what I got done without those that come out there with me. So I think from our standpoint, it went just about as smooth as it could. Me and Mike and my shift had a debrief the next day. We don't see anything that honestly could have went any better. Everybody showed up, done their jobs, and everybody got out safe. And all 60 residents are now back at Landmark, so they had no admissions. They actually went back later that day. So all employees and all residents are good to go. Everybody's back at work. Everybody's back at home. So I just want to thank everybody that was on scene. Thank Lincoln County for sending an ambulance, Gary County for sending an ambulance, and then our city partners that helped us out there as well. So.
I would probably, since we don't invoke, I don't think we invoke mutual aid that frequently. I would, Mike, work with me. I'd like to send a letter to each of their fiscal courts in both Garrett and Lincoln, thanking them for their assistance on this incident.
For sure. And Mike made it sound easy, but what I seen when I got there was I seen Mike, Sarah, and Troy all with black stuff around their face and in their nose where you could see where, because it was out when I got there, so I didn't realize how bad it was. But when I seen them, I was like, holy cow. I mean, literally, it was the difference of just a few minutes. And while they were clearing the building to get air monitoring to make sure it was okay, what I seen was EMS providers from Lincoln, Mercer, Lincoln, Garrett, and Boyle, our people, going around to each patient, checking on them, doing vitals and checking, make sure they're okay.
And I think you sent 6 to the hospital.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I'm very proud of these guys. I'm proud of Michael. I'm proud of all the people that were there. I want you to know that a lot of times you see us up here, we're asking for things, but it all makes a difference. The system that we have in Boyle County, I always try to say, it's a system. It does not matter how good one agency is if we all can't work together. And we work well with the hospital, we work with law enforcement, and it's just a well-oiled machine. I would like people of Boyle County to realize that this is top-notch services. Like this, there's nobody cutting corners. These are fantastic providers, and if people want to move somewhere they have a good EMS system, come to Boyle County.
So the fire department must have done a yeoman's job also for you, didn't they?
Yeah. Have they established the cause, and if so, the cleanup after a fire like that? I mean, I can imagine them having to paint the entire facility. What's the status of the facility? I know that's not our responsibility, but
So,
by the same token, the smell afterward with people with physical conditions at that age can be very serious. Do we know what they're doing?
What we have is pretty limited, just from what we were focused on. But from what I was discussing with the battalion chiefs and their command structure, I think it was linen and a chair that ended up catching fire. I don't know the cause. I didn't follow up on none of that.
Last I heard, it was still being investigated.
Yeah. So they said that that was their thought, but like I said, that's all still under investigation. But from what we were told, there was no structural damage. It was strictly smoke and water damage. And as I mentioned, that hall did not house any residents. So we weren't putting anybody back in the hall where the fire was.
But I understood you to say that the smoke was so thick in a hall where the evacuation was taking
It was
place.
It was connected to the hall that we originally had residents on. But the hall that the fire started on had no residents on it.
I mean, they could be a year in and still have the smell of the fire.
Yeah. So they provided, like I said, I don't work for Danville Fire Department, so I couldn't dive into it. But they provided ventilation and air testing quality and stuff like that, so as far as they were concerned, it was safe for everybody to go back in, so.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I was glad to see ICS worked like it should.
It worked
I
like a
that.
dream, yep. I have no complaints. It worked like it should, and I was very happy with the job that was done, so.
Good deal.
Mike,
Well, thank you for
Mike.
being there, and thank you for what you did.
Yes, Mike, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Or either one of y'all could answer. Do you all pre-plan for these type of incidents, or do you just have to go in and use your best judgment in a difficult situation?
Yeah, I mean, we train all the time. You know, the shifts are required, since we moved to the 12-hour shift, to do 1 hour training a shift. So it's always on some sort of disease pathology or incident command or things like that. This has really opened the eyes of Dr. Grant and I. Dr. Grant was there for a little while. He was working at the hospital, so he went back to the hospital. And we're definitely gonna have a meeting next week where we go over this and look at it. It's something we're gonna have to plan a little further, because if we had we got lucky because the weather was nice. It was sunny. But what if it had been raining? What if it was January?
Yeah, snow on the ground.
And there was snow on the ground. It would be a much different scene. So we're definitely gonna take this back. But we try to look at everything that we can think of. But I've been in EMS for 21 years, and I'll go somewhere and I'll see something. I'm like, well, that's the first time I've ever seen that. But we do try to.
It shows the decision-making at the time that it's going on, which is a difficult time to always make the right decision.
Yeah.
The pressure is really on, and the folks that were involved did a terrific job, and that's not easy. Pre-planning, yes, you can't, but you can't plan for everything.
Yep.
So the public, which I hope are tuned in, somehow they need to know that that's part of what you all do.
Yep.
Is in the training and preparedness.
What does it come out, like if it was raining or whatever, do y'all have tents, or does the fire department have, like tents and stuff they can put up for
We don't.
residents to go in?
We would just have to mass transport people out of there.
Yeah.
And as fast as we could. So.
Because I didn't know if that was your responsibility or would have been the fire department's
Well,
responsibility.
it's a shared command, and that's one of the good things is nobody's. Well, I'm in charge or I'm in charge. It's just we all have this goal. So, like I said, when we go through the debrief, we're definitely going to look at the contingency. What if it would have been January? How would we have handled that? So my first thought would be we just have to mass transport people out of there. We'd have to call more mutual aid, and to get as many people there as we could. Maybe call.
Could you have called on churches to use their?
Yeah.
their fellowship halls, gymnasiums?
Yeah, and the patient that would just be in a wheelchair that didn't require anything could go to a church, but if they require oxygen, they would have to go to the hospital somewhere where they could get oxygen. So those are the things we all thought about. And when we took people out, we thought about that too. When we put them back in, that was a process too, because to go back in the doors, they had to have all this different things done. They had to have vitals and all that stuff where they were able to go back in, and these guys were all doing that. Helping the nurses take vitals, and we got them all back in really, really quickly. So,
From an insurance standpoint, and I know there's cost involved in everything you guys did, there ought to be some reciprocity with the nursing home to get dollars back to us. Are you pursuing that?
we are.
Good.
Mike, you might consider, and this is your call, sharing this with the Danville Commission. I think anytime when you show the spirit of cooperation, it's good to point that out to the folks at the top.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
That's it, but it's your call.
Yes, we'll probably have to do that.
Thank you again.
Right,
I want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I was just walking in this morning and saw our friend Steve Klein walking in, and I just talked to him for a few minutes. He about died like 2 times. He airlifted, and I know that he was waiting in the hallway because he wanted to thank you all for what you did for him. So I just want to recognize you again, just here, Fiscal Court, for all you did for him. I know you helped save his life.
Saved his life.
So.
And the people in Louisville said that.
Yeah.
What y'all did here saved his life.
But just thanks a lot for all you guys do for our
Appreciate
community.
y'all. Appreciate it.
Well, one thing we talked about at the committee this morning that I asked Mike to kind of add to his agenda here, we're always trying to show people the great service that we have here, and you know, why other EMTs and paramedics want to come work here. It was brought to our attention that we have a disparity when it comes to insurance for people that work here. And Mike was saying that's actually been a hindrance for trying to attract good talent so he can fully staff. So I would like to see if we can, I don't know, Julie, maybe reach out to our our insurance partners to see what we can do to kind of close up. The issue comes down to the amount paid for family insurance is astronomical. And Director Rogers has actually lost a couple good candidates because of that. We've also had a couple people that have started here, saw their first paycheck, and left. So that's not a good thing for us. So
They're covered differently than the average employee of the county?
The family plan is more expensive than the single.
yeah. So we need.
Just ask Danville about what they're paying.
So we were trying to recruit a paramedic
Why?
from another county,
An individual.
and he was good until we told him the cost of the family insurance, and then he was like, "Well, I can't afford that. Can't afford that to come out of my check."
So most of the people we have now are, you know, a good portion are younger people.
Yeah. Or like
But-
me, I have my insurance. I have the insurance through my wife, and she has a lot better rate. So.
I hate to be so naive about this, but a family is a family, whether they're at a desk job here, because they're not the ones at risk. These guys are the ones at risk. Why is the family plan more
No.
expensive?
It's that way for
It's
everybody.
for the whole
For the whole.
for the whole
That
county.
was my
It's
first
very
question.
very
That
expensive.
was my very first question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
For every
but
person in the county.
That's in
Okay.
everything,
So-
factories, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
good.
my
I heard there
request.
was a differential between
Well,
EMS family.
It's affecting
and-
our EMS.
Yeah, average family. Now
So
you're
my
clear.
request is that we bring our insurance partners back in to have them look at that, so that we know that that is not only an issue for EMS, but for everybody
Thank you.
here in the county. So that was, I don't know if Julie, if we can,
They're coming in today.
They are.
perfect timing, sir.
2 o'clock today.
Awesome.
All right. Thank
All right.
y'all. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, appreciate it.
You gotta understand health insurance.
Oh, I understand it. I did HR for a while.
When it's, well,
All right.
sell it.
Good morning.
I just have a comp time agreement.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
You wanna know who it is? Or doesn't matter?
It's in our packet.
Okay, all right, it is in the packet, so we have a motion made to approve the compound agreement with Magistrate Cohen, second by Magistrate Short.
Ray.
Mhm. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I just
Opposed,
want,
like sign. Motion carries.
I do have a question
Uh-oh.
pertaining to something else.
Is it on the agenda?
Talk to the insurance people are set up to our benefit, not our benefit to them. Okay, does that make sense?
yeah,
So when you're talking to them about making a schedule, Jamie and I are on that committee. I'd appreciate it if you'd check with us and see what suited our schedule, not the insurance companies. And then get with us and then get back with them on what day would be all right. You texted us sometime yesterday and
I
told us the
did.
meeting's at 2 o'clock today, which
it slipped my mind. and
I've already,
we
I've
had-
got something else to do. But I would have loved to have been here. So you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Insurance companies will push you, as Ronnie will tell you, to their benefit. But we do got to turn that around
You going in
and
his
have
place?
it to our benefit.
Okay.
Have them come here to suit the committee,
I'll
not
drive the bus.
us suiting them.
Yeah, I think it was an honest mistake.
Oh, I know,
meetings
I'm not
and
blaming
schedule.
her, she
Yeah.
just made a mistake on that, but
In
I have no
Shannon's-
idea how long you knew.
In Shannon's defense, she's
I'm
been-
sorry?
In Shannon's defense, she has been doing 20 other jobs too.
Yeah, because
so,
of Mariah
like
being
we
out.
all have been, so.
Yeah, I'm not
it's-
picking on Shannon.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, so it was, I think it's been scheduled for a while, it just,
Well, if
we
it's been
just made.
scheduled for a while, then we should have known about it when it was scheduled.
You mean show up today for you, sir?
I'm sorry?
You mean show up today for you?
We're working as hard as
Phil, I'll be happy to,
That much
when we
makes
put it on the judge's calendar, I'll be happy to send you a email along with,
When,
if you'd like.
you know, even if it's 2 months in advance, it may not suit Jamie and I. We may give you a different date
Okay.
to give the insurance
Would you all
company.
like for
Does
me
that
to
make
do
sense,
that?
Judge?
When Shannon tells me to put it on the calendar.
If it's on the committee that's gonna be there, I think that would be good.
If you don't mind, send it to me also, cause I'm gonna have to call him and remind him.
All right,
And
well,
I just wanted to
Well, you didn't
remind
do a
everybody
very
the
good job.
health fair is Friday.
Friday's health fair,
Friday's
guys.
health fair,
Friday's
it's
health
at
fair.
the
Why didn't you
fire
tell me
station
about
on
that?
Lebanon Road.
How do we sign up again?
Just call me, we
Okay.
can schedule an appointment. The health fair, or the health department would like to schedule appointments to.
We just
kind
not
of-
come out there now.
No.
Is that the only day, huh?
That's the only day.
Great.
Ooh.
7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
What's
We
your
have a
phone
lot
number?
of,
What's your
new
number?
3,600.
and innovative offerings this year that we've not had in the past, thanks to
136?
work with Missy and
11.
Miss Shannon and the
Thank
front, so.
What time are you on? 7?
I don't know what she's
My
got available.
morning is booked.
See,
The
she's
first
already
appointment is
You haven't
11:15,
called?
I think.
I hadn't called.
You ain't called yet?
Sign me up for that one,
Okay,
Oh,
please.
I
oh,
will.
no, actually sign me up before.
Too bad.
What is your times?
What I've got left open starts at 11:15 and it's all
No,
afternoon.
11:15 is taken by Jason.
Jason and Jacob, okay,
Okay, then put me in there somewhere.
I will.
Put John down to
Be
10:35.
prepared for a 7-minute massage, you guys.
7-minute walk.
I don't relax that long, sorry.
You don't have your list with you by any chance, Steve?
I don't.
Are you gonna text
we'll
us,
be here
give us a
for a
time,
few.
or you and me call?
Shannon, why don't you go up and get your list and
Okay.
and
We'll
plug some
we'll
of
just
these
fill
guys
it in
in.
while we're
Fill it
all
in.
here.
Yeah.
I need as early as possible. That's Bourbon Chase Day,
Okay, right.
and so we're gonna be swamped over at the shop, so I need,
We-
I
we
need to.
didn't- We didn't vote on the
I thought you
approval
sold
for the
your
comp
shop.
time.
No.
We just had the motion. We did vote, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
We
I
did.
thought we did.
We voted
I
on
didn't
that.
think we did.
Yeah, just another question come up before she left.
Yeah. We
Did we
voted.
vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Approval?
I got the discussion started about the insurance.
So you're gonna bring the list
I'll
down
bring the
to us?
list down,
Beautiful.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The sheriff's out there, send him in. Howdy, howdy.
Morning.
I guess I'm just presenting the third quarter. I did it, did everybody get a copy of it?
Yes.
Really nothing's changed on it. We're tooling right along, getting ready to start collecting taxes next month, so.
All right, we approved your incentive pay
Did
for.
you? Thank you,
for
thank you.
We
Thank
approved
you.
it for Christopher Robbins,
That's
though,
fine,
so would
yeah.
you make sure he gets that?
I'll talk to him and see if he'll, I'll talk to him and see.
That's
That's, that's my legal name, I guess. But,
There you go.
everything else is going
See, I wouldn't wanna mention that in front of the YouTube world.
well, they didn't say Winnie the Pooh, so that helped. That helped. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
He did.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Unfortunately, this has popped up on the news, I've heard recently. School incidents and school shootings have popped back. It seems like it's been away for a while and I hadn't heard much. Have we gotten back into that again? Or are we putting, what, are the deputies helping out in it, and are the schools requesting help, or kind of update?
We have one at the middle school in Danville, and then Danville
Okay.
PD has one at the high school.
Okay, so we're still doing that?
We have
Okay. We had
one
talked
at-
about it. for a
One at
while.
Boyle High, one at Boyle Middle, and then one that goes between the 3 elementary schools. Just random patterns or whatever, but, I mean, we're still maintaining a presence there.
So you-
Unfortunately,
okay.
they're just so unpredictable, but,
It very, and it hadn't, I hadn't heard anything about it for quite a while, but all at once
Yeah.
of recent, I've heard.
yeah, it seems like there's, and the ones that I've heard recently
Do we vote on this?
are more specific. They're not just a random act of violence, it's a fight,
Do we make a
somebody
motion
pulled a
to
gun
accept
out
it,
and shot somebody, you know, and doesn't make it any better.
We're still
But-
making the effort to do what we
Right,
can.
absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, now, on this, third quarter report, is this a matter of acceptance or is it an approval? Do you remember?
I think it's an acknowledgement.
It's acknowledgement?
I think it's an acknowledgement.
For the record, I don't mind moving to accept it.
All right, let's
Just
do
for the
that to
record,
accept,
and
all right.
Just to be sure that we're doing
Motion,
it
a
right.
motion to accept the sheriff's third quarter budget, report made by Magistrate K. Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate Sammons, to accept, and this also, it includes an authorization for me to sign along with the sheriff. So, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Sheriff, how are things going with the the camera system?
Great, great. Oh, I think we just, Sam just replaced 2 of the body cameras for some reason. They were acting up, but they were under warranty, so it didn't cost anything. They seem to, our download speeds are pretty good, and I've loved every minute of having them, honestly. It's worked out well. Worked out well. Very good system, easy to use, and you know the guys now are getting used to it. You know, and a lot of times you would have about 3 hours of somebody riding around Danville because they would make a traffic stop and forget to hit the stop record button. So you've got the rest of their shift where they're just riding around because and so that fills up the servers and stuff like that. But we're kind of getting used to it now. So
Great.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy?
Yeah.
And then, the other, I guess more of a concern, still a concern and comment is, I just saw in the news where the #1 killer of law enforcement right now is COVID.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I think there's been 745 deaths in the line of duty related to COVID in law enforcement, and the majority of those, of course, are unvaccinated. So I'm still concerned that we're sending our people out there without being fully protected.
I'm trying to think. I don't have the exact number.
Issue.
I think we may have 2 or 3 that are not at this point, and actually one of those 2 or 3 just got his first round.
Okay,
So I
great.
think they're seeing the consequences of you know, it may not stop you from getting it, but staying healthy. I know several people that are fairly young that have died or won't ever be able to go back to work. So,
Right.
you know, I obviously I'm not mandating it, but if you're going to be out dealing
Well,
with
that's
the
good.
public, you have-
I'm glad to hear those numbers then. That's encouraging.
So yeah,
The
it's-
news item that Jamie's referring to, I think, is they made the comment that a lot of officers are issued vests, but yet they'll go out without them.
And we don't
Same
have that
thing
issue
about the
anymore.
shots.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
You know, why?
I don't know. I mean, some of one of my friends goes to a specific church and they're completely against it, and actually lost a 52-year-old gentleman not too long ago. You know, and you know, I don't think he had any underlying health conditions. I think it just attacks people differently, and
Yeah,
you know.
I just lost a friend I had coffee with every Saturday morning. Died
Yeah.
Saturday a week ago.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Thank you.
yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
I don't
Hey,
think anybody else is out here.
if you can't spend that 40-some hundred, let me know.
Okay.
There should be not be.
It's already spent, house payment, car payment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shouldn't be anybody else out there, I don't think.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first thing I have is the job description for a Director of Human Resources. It's in your packet. I'm presenting this for approval so that we can take the next step in trying to get a professional human resource director. Any questions?
Having been a former HR director at KACO, I see this as a very thorough and a great starting point to get somebody that is well versed in all the required aspects of HR. I think that this is an excellent start to what we want to try and do.
So what is the starting salary on this? It's right there.
It's
Is it on this page here?
It's what,
Well, if you look at the top of the job description, it's line number 4, it's 70,000 minimum commensurate with experience. I also included a budget of sort of the range of salaries depending on who we interview, who we select, their qualifications. I think that's the big thing here, is to get somebody that's professionally trained, has a degree. I would love to see somebody that's taken the SHRM certification, so that is going to cost us a little more to get that kind of person. But it's
Sure,
important.
it's the last page right there, behind the job description, there is a, yep, oh,
It's at
one
the
more,
top, too.
one more.
Yeah, it's at the top of the first page and the third page, yeah.
Yeah, in this, in my stand-in role, for Magistrate Short at the Personnel Committee, we did review this job description at that meeting.
Move for acceptance.
Second.
And we have a
Second.
motion to move for acceptance of the job description, made by Magistrate K. Wood and seconded by Magistrate Cullen. To include, my guess would be to go ahead and move to advertise for
Yes.
30 days.
Yes,
No
please,
reason
quickly.
why not to.
Okay, all right.
Assume we come up with the money for this.
We're taking out of your pay.
They're hurting if you take down my pay.
Put you at a heck of a deficit, wouldn't it?
Is there any,
Sheriff Robbins just contributed his check toward it.
yeah, is there any other comments about the job description and the announcement that advertised?
Phil said KACO's gonna kick in.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Not an easy task. Thank you very much. This is something that we desperately need and should have had a long time ago. So, again, good work to Julie and Missy and Jackie and everyone else, so.
Okay.
Cdbg Grant. This is the grant that's $250,000 for utility assistance. If you remember, some months ago, we applied for that. These are all the documents, and as with any federal grant, there's, I don't know, 20, 30 documents here we gotta sign. So I pulled out 3 things that are particularly of interest that you need, the public needs to know, or actually 2. One is we're going to, with your vote today, pass a resolution stating our affirmative action policy for fair housing. And the second resolution would be a non-discrimination policy for handicapped individuals. Those
Are
are
these not
2 resolutions that we have to include in our
So we don't have anything like that right now?
not that I know of, but we have to pass it for this grant.
Yeah, I understand that we talked
Yeah,
about that, but.
yeah.
I'm
We
I'm
just have the guidelines of federal law,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this narrows the
Are
point
they-
down.
Are these separate motions?
Well, what
Yes.
I'm asking for is approval for Judge Hunt to sign any and all documents related to this grant.
I'll make that
Just in
motion.
one swoop.
I'll second.
Okay, that's the recommendation, motion made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Ellis. Now it's discussion, questions, or comments on the grant.
How's somebody apply for this? Like, where do they go to get the
The
money?
Bluegrass Community Action Partnership will be the conduit for the applications. We don't have anything to do with taking applications and vetting clients.
They do all that.
They do all that for us, and there is an agreement with them that we're empowering them to do that for us.
Cost of the county is 0, right? This is
Right.
just a grant. Perfect.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Wonderful.
Yep.
We got a vote?
Yes. Is there any, no other comments or questions? So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. All right, Miss Jackie.
All right. Just wanted to give you all an update on housing the ARPA funds. We have reached out to all the local banks in town. The one that had the best rate for us was Farmers. So if that is okay with everybody, we'd like to stay there and have it in an
Which is
interest-bearing
where
account.
it's currently parked.
Yeah, yeah. We have, just an update, Susanna has been working diligently on the incentives, the incentive payments that we've been behind on.
TransNav was in your packet today for approval, to pay them. We have Pittman Creek up to date, and we have reached out to Megan to try to get it resolved too. I'm still waiting on a email back from them. The only other thing is, you know, I'm working on first quarter DLG report, so it is in on time. And still working on the end of the year. I'm playing phone tag with KVS on that and trying to make sure everything is done the way it needs to be done before we close out the year. So that's about it.
Sad moment the other day, driving by Pittman Creek, and their garage door was up, and that warehouse is completely empty.
Is it?
They skedaddled. They're down in Lincoln. So, yeah.
They moved out here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were gonna,
Yeah, that's what we talked about before when they were looking to be here, looking to stay. They were looking for more property, and this was one of those things where some of our partners didn't quite answer the call like they should have, and Lincoln County did, and we lost big.
We thank Jody for that.
Well,
At one point, though, I'd heard that they were going, because of their rapid growth and expansion, they were looking at continuing some presence here in Boyle. Maybe not at the same level that they
Because of a
had.
contract with Walmart that he had just, Mr. Coffey had just recently gotten, that he would be able to keep some employment here.
well, we'll see, because that, I mean, when I say empty, there's no shelves, no nothing in there. It's one big warehouse.
to come there. We didn't have property to give them.
All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Nope.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to our team that we have. Susanna, Julie, Missy, and I, and Mariah. But with Mariah and Shannon, with Mariah being out, you know, Shannon has really stepped up, and Missy and, all of us are just doing a lot. And I think we have an amazing group that we work with on a
I
daily basis.
agree and echo that 100%.
Yeah.
Judge said that's just good leadership.
Huh.
That's right, Judge.
Well, I would like to think so, but these ladies are committed to serving the county at a high level, and I
Get
am
your coffee
honored to
store,
be a benefactor of their service.
They're professionals.
They're professionals.
I agree.
They're fantastic is what they are.
Thank you all.
We're lucky to have them.
Well, with the extra work that they are doing now, I think on these, you know, every Thursday, all these committee reports, everything should be in to get in the agenda. And to my knowledge, a lot of it's getting put later. So we need to emphasize or really emphasis on, if you're gonna get on the agenda, you get it here by Thursday. We're not changing after Thursday. That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
Unless it comes through you, then you
Right.
wanna do it. But that's
There's always, you gotta have a little flexibility
Yeah.
there on some
But
things.
it should come through her.
No.
It should come through you.
Yeah.
And,
Crack the whip.
and so if it comes through you and you agree to it, that's fine, but it makes extra work on her,
Absolutely.
and they got so much to do now, it's ridiculous. So that's just my
We
suggestion.
meet frequently on becoming as effective and efficient as we can regarding different things that come before.
So once you start letting people come in late, guess
No.
what? It happens all the time.
It does.
Good work, y'all.
I
Thank you.
wanna, if I could, echo those comments, and also wanted to, in addition to the entire team who does an amazing job and has done an amazing job, I do wanna thank Jackie for stepping up and doing the job she's been doing as the interim treasurer. I think she's done an amazing job at that.
I agree with that.
And I wanted to let the court and everyone know that she, for personal reasons and her own reasons, did not apply for the treasurer position. So as we move forward in that, I just wanted to acknowledge that and thank her for her role and hopefully we can find a role for her in
I hope
moving
so.
forward.
She's
As
proven
part of
her
that continued part of that
value.
team, in addition to her other job she'll roll back to.
Well, I've not been around as long as John and Phil, but I know with our you know, few years we've been here, this is the most efficient this court's run. And I think going back for a while, it's probably needed a team like this. So you all are fantastic, and wish this county would have been in real good shape if we had you here long ago. So.
You know, speaking of efficiency, while we're on that subject, Bill Nichols has approached me with a concept that I want to float by each of you, is to provide the magistrates with an iPad, and that iPad would not be very expensive. I won't say the price for everybody, but it was not expensive. And then the service is about $35, $36 a month. Does everybody have an iPad that we could digitally send all the documentation and everything that we kill multiple trees a year in paper? This report right here, it's not the thickest you've had, is 2 total reams of paper and time. If we had the opportunity to send you to your own magisterial iPad, digitally, everything that's in this document, in this binder, it would save the county, I think, quite a bit of money over a year's period of time.
It pay for itself.
Judge, being the low-tech guy in the room, I totally endorse that, because that way, if there are any changes, any thing, and we can't do that, I mean, this is wonderful. This is a step forward wonderfully, but I would love that, because I would learn how to use it and send back and forth on anything needed.
We just, KACO just did that on a couple of committees I'm on. It's a small little iPad, it's not very large, and I think they paid something like $200 a piece for them.
The price to us would be a lot less than that.
They're really nice. I've implemented an iPad when I started out. I had all this paper dockets and stuff. My assistants can like scan all the dockets to me, and I have a little pen I can write on there. It's just made it.
Now don't get too sophisticated.
I mean, it's not that. I'm not real tech savvy myself, but that, you know, is very helpful.
I thought I'd throw that out there for your consideration. I don't know where the cost would stand budgetarily, but it would be about right at $200 a month in service. But the iPads are a whole lot less than what he just stated. And it would be instantaneous, be able to update. Now, does anybody feel threatened? Well, I don't want to ask that openly. Threatened by the digital move toward digital?
The only problem I have is that my internet service is not very good at all. What do you have out? You got a different carrier than I have, haven't you?
Yeah, mine is not good either.
Yes.
Well, let me ask this. When you're talking about a monthly service, I'm assuming he's talking about a data plan to go with these.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So it wouldn't run off of your internet.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
It would run off of unlimited data. So that's what I have here. Is I just have an iPad and it's got a data plan that's unlimited, and so it's just whatever your cell phone.
Well, I have an iPad at home, a large one, and I have trouble getting the information I need because of internet service.
No, you
will
not.
Just happened to be talking about you, Bill.
Gee, I wonder how I knew. The iPads are furnished by, or not furnished, we would purchase them through one of the vendors that we have. They have their own.
Are we buying them or renting them?
We'll buy them.
Buy them.
You don't want to rent them.
No. And they would be through our provider that provides hotspots for the sheriff. They provide service for EMS. They provide service for me. They would have their own internet service. They would not depend on anything at your house.
Not your current one at home.
Okay, good.
I mean, they'll be live on the internet 24/7, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing.
So you're just talking about iPads just for the court?
Just for the 6 or 7 of us,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Right, it'd be the 6 of you and the judge.
So we're talking $15,000 a year service fees?
We're talking
No.
200 apiece?
No, 200 total.
No.
Service runs typically right around, with taxes and everything, about $40 a piece per month. The iPads would probably run under $100 a piece. I can get them for $100.
See, I was hearing that
It'd be
it
a
might be
Generation
200
8.
for
The
each
two
one.
forty, the two or 200, 240s for everybody. Monthly.
Wonderful.
You talking about an iPad less than $100?
Yes, sir. It's a Generation 8. It's not a Generation 10 or a Generation 11, but it will.
It's very it's very usable.
Yeah.
But I've had one on trial with the company, and they work very well anywhere in the county.
Okay, good. Let's go for it.
I think it would be a worthwhile.
Yeah, would you check with if you guys are interested?
I'm
Not
interested.
this time. We'll check budgetarily and see if we can find the right line
Okay.
item for new equipment to come out of. And, you know, that, and if you're interested in doing that, we can move forward next
I think it'd be
session.
great.
Bill, I heard you say anywhere in the county, but then I heard you say anywhere. If we were in Lexington or Louisville,
Yeah,
Conference,
it's
or-
like your cell phone.
It's
Yeah.
like,
It's like your cell
basically
phone.
like your cell phone.
It runs off the same
So,
towers.
so if Julie's back in California, we can communicate.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you go to Puerto Rico, then you might have, you know, international charges.
Won't be there.
I move to bring it up next court meeting.
All right.
I will say, I don't need
But
one.
initially, we're
Sounds
looking
good.
at roughly a $700 investment for the pads, and then roughly about $240 a month for service.
No.
Let's save that on paper.
Oh, yeah, easily,
Touch
So,
easily.
And
but I just wanted to chime in, so y'all know.
Yeah,
what
time-
I'm dealing with.
Hey,
Time
Bill,
that Julie spends there.
Bill,
Missy spends.
I don't need one, I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody else not need one?
But on your, I mean, are you?
What about your service? Cause it would be a different service provider.
Yeah, I already have data.
Okay.
I unlimited.
Yes.
Data.
And that's the data that I'm talking about with these
Yeah.
as well.
Mine was $20. But
Well, there you go. What is it, 7 or 6 or what?
I'm sorry, what?
What generation is it?
Oh, it's an iPad Air. I just got it last year.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, it's nice. I mean, that data. We drove back from Idaho. My daughter Sophie was in the back watching Netflix the whole time. Unlimited data is a great thing.
Was she
You do it on the
quiet?
airplane?
Huh?
Was she
Oh,
quiet?
she's the best traveling little buddy ever. She'll just sit back
Do they
there and
come with a-
entertain herself.
A stand
Take on
for
planes,
stuff.
too.
We'll come up
No,
with-
that's
Yeah.
basically just the iPad itself.
your own data and
Accessories and
everything
stuff we would have to
Well,
look
that's-
at and see what.
A case like that's extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typically, I think that case
Well,
is,
you can get a
what,
cheaper
100?
stand in there. We just got a little smaller stand. It's just
Yeah.
magnetic hooks. to-
Yeah, I don't, most of, this is just for the iPad itself.
But it would increase our efficiency and our
Tremendously.
flexibility to send you all the stuff, especially if it's updated.
Would save a lot of time in the office. wouldn't it?
Oh,
Well, one of
it
the-
saves this lady hours,
Yeah.
hours.
One of the
Get away
things
with
that's
the
gonna
movie.
happen when we go to, because we're scheduled here sometime this month to move over to our Google platform for our email services. Each of you will have your own personal email with this process. Your district emails will become an alias of your own personal email, and they will be on these iPads. So everything will come right to this iPad. Any email concerning your job as a magistrate for the county, any documents that Missy needs to send you, we'll have an area on the Google where the Google Drive, as it's called, where we can store these documents and you'll be able to get to them right away.
One spot, look at all of them.
I mean, it should make us a whole lot more efficient and save these ladies a lot of time.
Well, let's go for it.
So, something to
We'll
consider.
look at the money for the next court session and move forward off of that.
Too smart.
It's.
All right.
I mean, it's great because I
Thank
got
you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
You gonna give classes?
Absolutely.
I got my packet from Missy at 3:14 on the 7th, and I was already able to look at it, see everything on there. So it's nice.
Okay, district reports, we'll just go around the room this way. Tom?
Thank those of you who supported both Perryville and Portland communities. Perryville was the 159th celebration, and it was just extraordinary, starting with the parade that the judge and I were at, all the way till the end events. I would particularly point out, we're bringing up in the greater Perryville area, as well as Portland, I'll go ahead and add that for later, an exceptional young generation. Those of you who came to the dinner, there were about 14 or 15 young people from this tall to taller than I am who were serving the dinner for well over 100 people the opening night. And they did an extraordinary job, and it was all yes sir, yes ma'am, what can I get you? You seem to be out of your drink, can I go get you more? Is there anything? They were just tremendous young people who participated. Likewise out in Portland for some of the servers that they had out there. We don't have all the data in yet from Perryville, but it might be a near record crowd even with COVID this year. Moving on to Forkland, in a 1 hour plus period of time, 642 people paid through the gate, and a total of over 3,900 people attended, not counting all the volunteer staffs, which way go into 100 more. So both events were just exceptional. Not only bourbon run this weekend, but please look at my post about Penn Store. Penn Store, I want you to get a figure in your mind about how old it has been continuously operated. And now I'll give you that figure. Penn Store has been in operation continuously for 176 years. And that tiny little institution, by the way,
Same guy running it, Bob?
Pardon me?
Same guy running it?
There was a family for the first 4 or 5 years, and then ever since it's been the same one. But that building was literally floated in a flood years ago and had to be restructured and put back together. But this weekend, if you're a car enthusiast, there'll be at least 75 vintage automobiles there and others to see. Bluegrass music, gospel music, food that will founder you if you go to all the booths. So please come out to Penn Store on Saturday from 10 to 5. And Judge, I think that'll cover me.
Might give them directions, Tom, on how to get there.
You go out to Portland and keep going about 2-3 more miles, and you'll see signs for a turn left. You found it okay? You didn't go after writing to me?
I'll bring it up in my time.
And turn left on 243, and there are signs.
Education County.
I hope this coming year in Perryville, which is the 160th, I'm hopeful that they'll have a significant reenactment presence there. And because it is the 160th, I'd like for the court to start thinking about what we as a body can do to help ensure the greatest success of that event coming forward, because they will bring a lot of tourism dollars into this county without question if they have a big reenactment out at the park.
These past 2 weeks and the Penn Store next Saturday, we are the Visitors Bureau for this county. It's just amazing, the turnout. And that's from multiple states as well as our folks in Boyle County.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Can I do the committee report at this time?
If you want to, it's not due until the second, but you can.
I'll go ahead,
Okay.
if it's all right with you, sir.
Sure.
Personnel Committee met on October the 7th, 9 a.m. Present were myself, Judge Hunt, Julie, Shannon, Magistrate Gay, who was standing in for Magistrate Short. Ron has a conflict of interest with the purpose of this committee meeting and removed himself. Ron, thank you for being upfront about all, and not surprising, but thank you for what you did. Even though it fell on me, but that's all right. EMS Director Mike Rogers requested the committee consider the job description for an advanced emergency medical technician. If recommended, he will present it to the fiscal court at the next meeting. Committee recommends acceptance of the position and job description as presented. He then discussed a personnel issue which he will continue to handle. Mike then left the room, and Assistant County Attorney Patrick Barsardi entered the meeting to help with a review of resumes of those who had applied for the county treasurer position. We thanked him for his advice as we continued with the meeting discussion. We received, now there was more than 8 but we received 8 positions, resumes for the position. After a short discussion, we decided to bring 3 back for interviews. Those interviews will be held ASAP. Meeting adjourned at 10 o'clock. I move for acceptance of the committee meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor, okay, motion was made to accept the personnel committee minutes, made by Magistrate Kaywood and seconded by Magistrate Short. Questions? Comment? All those in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Would ask folks to put November 10th down on their calendar if you want to make any follow-up on the what's going to happen out in front of the courthouse on that day.
Oh, yeah.
The blue trail.
Yeah,
whatever.
the Blue Star.
Blue Star, I'm sorry. You know more about it than I do.
No,
but anyway, if you want to make any comment about it,
Yeah.
They can get on their calendar. So.
You can or I can. I'd love to.
Well, it'd be better if you do.
Okay, I'll do it. All right, thank you.
And then I've got one more after
Sure.
you get through with that.
Okay, on November 10th, I think it's at 2 o'clock.
I think so.
In the afternoon, there will be a new stone monument dedication on the front lawn out near the Veterans Memorial here on the courthouse grounds. The Blue Star, it's not a highway, it's just a Blue Star Memorial that is being sponsored by the local Danville Garden Club, and at no cost to the county whatsoever. They're going to put a stone monument up to all. The Blue Star represents the support of all members and families that have served in our armed forces over the years. Gold Star, and people have heard that term, are for those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. Blue Star brings everybody into focus, or counts everybody that has served in the armed forces of our nation and recognizes their commitment to our country's successes. So there will be on November the 10th, thanks to the Danville Garden Club, and in particular, my coordination with Miss Martha Kaywood, who is very easy to work with, has provided the
That's your perception, sir.
Yep. She didn't hear that.
I'll get her the notes.
And really, it's been a pleasure to work with and putting this together. So I'm looking forward to that time and opportunity. I hope we have a great crowd. I hope we have great weather that day, because this is a very beneficial, worthwhile opportunity to recognize all people that have served and their families in the service of our country. So, John?
Thank you. We haven't talked about this for a while, and it may be impossible at this time because of recent occurrences. At one time, we were taking and trying to record in our tax office taking the quarterly tax returns and pulling some economic data from those returns, because there's some in there. You see areas where the payroll taxes that we are collecting is very high, which means that area is doing very well. We may see areas that are very low, but it is an economic tool if used properly. And EDP had started, Jody had started taking this information that we were supplying, and I don't know if we're still doing that, and I don't know if it's possible to continue to do it, but if it is, and we can do it without a lot of hassle, I personally think that there's some data there that those who are serving in economic development can use to see trends and use to help in knowing where we are, our health as a county, and where maybe our strengths and weaknesses are.
And Susanna had been trying to keep up with that as best she could, you know, at being shorthanded at this point.
I understand that. I just don't want it to go away and we forget about it.
We will definitely pick that
Because
back
I
up.
think it's data that we as a county need to review and know where we are.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, we will definitely get back.
Thank you.
Get that back in the.
That's all, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right. Mr. Simmons.
Only thing I have is, John and Tom took all my time up, so I'm gonna make it short. I just wanna thank, my two buddies at the end here, and Julie for the job that they've done. Jackie, we really appreciate you stepping up, and Missy, I don't know what we'd do without you.
I agree on both counts.
Tough. So I, for one, wanna really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for being on board and doing the job that you've done.
Thank you, that means a lot.
Thank you. Counselor?
Oh, just real quick, I went to Payroll and Forkland in the last two Saturdays, and yes, it's nice. I'm a runner, so I ran in the Johnny Copenauer Memorial 5K 2 Saturdays ago, and so that was nice. And then Forkland, it's a really nice race because afterwards they feed you pancakes and sausage. So I really enjoyed that race as well, and then got to walk around, got fried pie and all that good stuff. So it's really nice to have all these different events in our community. So I hope that everybody just gets out and supports them. And also this weekend's a big weekend for Danville. We have the Bourbon Chase. It's a 200-mile relay race, and I'm actually participating in that. It's been my 4th time, and Danville's like a hub where there's like van exchanges and so forth. So I just ask everybody to just be aware of runners that'll be running throughout our community, and just be careful because they'll be running all throughout the night in Boyle County. I know that I was just looked up. I start running at like 4:25 in the morning or whatever on Saturday morning for my second leg. So just be careful and keep your dogs up and all that. So
You know what lake where you run?
They go to Payroll.
So we start out at the van 1. I'm in van 2. It starts out at the Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is right. It's in Bardstown over there, right before you get on the Parkway. Yep. And so you run all the way into Danville. Actually, run to Springfield, and then the second van takes over, and you run into Danville, I think right in front of the courthouse. And then they make you run to like Stanford, out 300, into Junction City, and run all the way back to Millennium Park, and then you run from Millennium like towards Mercer County, down 127, and end up in Frankfort, and then run Frankfort all the way into to Lexington. So it's a big deal.
It's relays. Not he ain't running the whole thing.
I'm gonna be running.
His little legs couldn't put up with it.
I'm runner 8, so I'll be running. It's kind of switched up. Some people have had to bow out of our race last minute, so I have to do a harder run, which I was not expecting to do. So might not be very fast this time. But
you don't run Terrible Road, do you?
Yeah, I think I run a leg like 6.7 mile. That was my first leg.
Judge will be out there with, Judge and I'll be out there with you a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, it's down Payroll Road, so I know you.
I'll be watching for you.
Speeders need to watch, go slow. So I know you talked about that.
Gatorade, something to give you energy. You don't want no coffee, do you?
Bourbonade.
You're not allowed to have anything like that. It's
You should have brought that up while the sheriff should be out there.
Oh, they'll be out there. Don't worry.
They've changed the speed limit from 55 to 75 out on our
Just that stretch between your house and Tom's house. They're trying to get through there as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's right. What about the judge?
He's too far back.
I'm in between them.
Yeah.
He's too far back.
If I may, I'd like to share a story with you.
On October
the 19th of 19, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was driving to Lexington for a special occasion. The runners were on the road, 127. As I traveled to the airport, these runners with their lights, it was really a beautiful sight, to tell you the truth, because they'd be running and the lights would be going and everything, and I'll always remember seeing those runners out there on that morning. So thank you for being one of them.
Yes, it's pretty neat. Hoping the weather doesn't look, the temperature-wise looks good, but I think there might be a 40% or 60% chance of rain. I hate to run in the rain.
That's gonna be the most dangerous part for you all is the poor vision with the rain and.
But I mean, we get a lot of money come into Danville. I mean, they, spend it at the hub and Subway, all these downtown places. I mean,
Payroll.
Hopefully, all these businesses are like stocked up with food and so forth.
We're trying.
Ready for
Well, it's great because not only is that happening on the 15th, Jamie, what happens on the 16th? What's going on 16th at Center?
Yeah, so we have, it is a busy weekend in my district, I would say, by the way. We have as we've all been talking about, the bourbon race, and then we do have homecoming this weekend, so Center's homecoming is going on. And on Thursday, we also have, we have a board meeting this week, so we have all of our trustees coming to town. And then on Thursday, we're having the inauguration of President Moreland. If I could, I won't, this is my time, I guess I'll share all this, and I won't have to say anything, but I was gonna ask if we could adjourn in recognition of Milton Moreland being sworn in as the 21st president of Center College on Thursday.
What time?
3 o'clock.
Sounds appropriate. Is that what time it is? 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Okay. You got anything else?
I don't think I said enough.
Okay. So everybody mark the calendar on that want to attend. I know that I've been invited to, I guess, be there or participate or do something, so we'll see what that ends up being. But, I'm looking forward to that.
We got an invitation with a little envelope and they're asking for money like they always do.
Always, yeah.
All right.
So, sorry, Ronnie sees my list over here. He's sweating. So, what a week in Boyle County. On Saturday, General and I were out at the airport for Young Eagles Day.
Great day.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's an organization that offers free flights to kids to get them interested in aviation. And they ended up doing like 115 flights that day. 115 kids showed up. The planes that were there was about 10 different planes, just all kinds of different planes. It was great. General Hunt was able to secure a Black Hawk that came in, and he wants to see pictures of it. I got pictures of it here.
I wish y'all to call me. Said I wish y'all to call me.
I did.
You did?
No. And then, Forkland Festival was fantastic. First time down there for me. Just, normally this is a busy time of year for me with Bourbon Chase and other things going on with. But we also did the Payroll. We were down in Payroll too.
Bought me a double cheeseburger. I'm in his debt.
Oh, I know, it's the best. He owes me. My mother-in-law was in town from Delaware, and she said she was amazed at everything that our community had going on. She said, I don't think we have anything like this going on back home or whatever. So she was just amazed. BCTC, we were there for the ribbon cutting, which was fantastic. Good group of everyone coming together. We also have Pints for Pets coming up. That benefits the Humane Society. That's going to be an all-week event of lots of different things going on. So please get on Facebook and look to see how you can support that. What else? It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So please keep those that are fighting and have survived in your prayers. COVID, we talked about this last time, and it's good to see that we have some numbers that are going down. Hold on, I have this here. I thought so. Oh, thought I had the numbers. Anyway, we went from I think 80 last time we met. We're down to like 68. And so the numbers are decreasing, so I think the awareness of people getting vaccinated is definitely helping, if not just social distancing. So I'm happy to see that. And last night I went to the Citizens Air Patrol meeting for cadets, and it was great. They had, for those who don't know, there's a building out on the on our airport, the CAP building. and it sits over by the original hangar. And last night was they have a meeting every Monday, and they had a full house. You know, some of us couldn't go in there because of COVID protocols, so we kind of had to like stay outside or whatever. But they were full with cadets, which is fantastic. So
That is great.
so
That's a great Air Force auxiliary program.
yeah, exactly. So I signed up last night to start helping out. They need pilots.
Good,
So
good.
So that's something I'm gonna be.
You get into some SAR training.
Yep, I'm gonna get involved with that and help as much as I can. So that was great. And then the last question I have: how's Mariah doing? And the baby?
Great.
Is she?
She's doing great. The baby's gaining weight. She's at 6 pounds, and she's at 20 inches long now. So she's doing good.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I believe that she is deeply appreciative of the court's assistance in helping her. Deeply appreciative.
Yeah.
She was very moved by you all adjourning last
Oh,
night.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Very. And
Good.
she wanted me to say thank you all for the gift that you gave to her. She was very appreciative.
Wonderful.
Least we can do.
And Tom, the reason I didn't make it out to where you were, I was wore out from all the stuff that was going on. We did the
That's
Eagles in the
good news.
morning, and then we stayed a lot longer than I thought we would in Forkland at the festival. So many good faces out there, and you know, seeing friends out there, my kids from school seeing friends out there. They just had a blast, and so it was great. So, but this weekend we'll
Appreciate you coming in.
I think that was the largest Forkland festival I've ever seen.
It had to be, honestly. I'm not sure of the data beyond the 3,900 plus that we had this weekend, but it was extraordinary. And if you have not been there, not only inside is a museum, unlike any small community Peg and I have been in all around the country, but the big barn has some of the most rare old farm tools and things in it. A donated ham box, which was probably a chestnut tree 200 years ago that was carved out, and it's longer than we are from here to Jamie and me, where they could probably put 20 country hams in there to cure them. And those things are just not found anymore. They're in the Museum of Appalachian in East Tennessee, but not around here.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day for it.
Yeah.
That's
Of course.
right, it's a good, crowded, beautiful day for
Of course, the Bottoms were there frying up pies and other good stuff. It was good seeing, you know, Lisa, and Taylor was there before he had to go off to Iowa. So for Doc Dog stuff, it was a good time. So.
And the little kids just loved that ride with the two Belgian horses. That was tremendous.
Oh, my kids just wanted they had little pop guns, and then just that, you know, little small jungle gym area. It was crowded with kids, so it was good times. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It was a glorious weekend.
Yeah.
It really was. I love the Black Hawk coming in. He came in on his approach over the airfield, and he came in at about a 45-degree angle. 75 feet off of the tarmac, and it was like an assault. It was great, and I really appreciated the guard support on that. He unhooked the batteries where kids and family could sit in the front seat and have pictures taken sitting in the cockpit of the Black Hawk, and so it was very well received, I hope. And there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got the little ones in the front there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you want to see the Black Hawk coming in, just go over to the airport's Facebook page. They got a video of it.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing.
All right, Magistrate Short.
I don't have a whole lot. I missed a lot of stuff last week because we was out of town. We usually go fishing during fall break, so we was fishing all week. But it was a good time with my wife and everything.
Did you catch any?
Yeah, we did catch. We caught quite a few fish, but anyway, I missed out on a lot of stuff. But usually it always happens the week that we're gone. So.
Thought she would have at least thrown you back.
Forkland. I knew Forkland to have a good day because the weather was so good. I know last year it was busy last year, and we usually go every year there. But we just couldn't make it this time. But I'm glad the community's come together and our county's doing well.
It was a great weekend, and all over the county. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, let me say this, that this has been a great event. I'm event-filled weekend this past weekend. We got things that we're very engaged in and actively pursuing on ARPA and other things. We're working with ARC and our insurance, health insurance consultants on things that will help provide increased services to all of our county residents, county employees, along with some others in the county in the form of a clinic, which we'll bring you up to speed on very shortly. We're working those issues. It looks very favorable for that to come to pass, and that's gonna help increase our health insurance offering to every one of our employees. So there's just a lot of good things happening right now. Missy, you got anything, Julie, you got anything you wanna add to that? We're working on just a lot of things. We're staying busy. John, I see you wanted to say something.
When you get through,
Okay,
I got
well,
questions.
I'm basically through, except I want to
The city-
adjourn in honor of, oh, yeah, the Halloween
Well,
thing.
the city did something last night of a
Okay.
joint appointment. Is that are we going to?
EDA.
No, I just got the word, thank you. So, okay.
I think I think they made a appointment as the EDA chair, president, whatever, a name that some of you may know, and we've discussed individually and separately on occasion.
Okay.
And that person that was put forth as an offer, I believe is John Roush, as I understand it, the head of the EDA.
Well, they appointed him last night and said it was a joint appointment, so I didn't know if he was.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll
Sorry.
get there. Okay, so with that, all that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you in the room. You all make it happen, and you represent this county extremely well, and that's exciting in itself. I would like to, based on a recommendation from Magistrate Gay, is that this court will adjourn in honor and recognition of Milton Moreland's inauguration forthcoming as the 21st president of Center College here in Danville, Kentucky, this week on the 14th. And
General, you want to?
I'll make that motion, we adjourn.
Before you hit the gavel, though.
Before you hit the gavel, we do want to get back to the Halloween thing. The cities have designated their Halloween day. Can we go ahead and designate it?
We will, Halloween will be observed by those who wish to observe it on the same day, which is October 30th, at the same date that the city of Danville recognizes that.
Payroll injunction.
Payroll injunction.
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you.
I second adjournment.
Okay, motion was made by Magistrate Gay to adjourn in honor of Milton Moreland's inauguration as the 21st president of Center College, and seconded by Magistrate Short. All those in favor of adjournment with the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries unanimously. Thank you.